about it, not to trash it, and not to throw all the kind of chemicals and stuff in it. By keeping the swamp clean, keeping the water clean, I think it will survive. It's going to be okay because the children of the Bahamas is going to protect it.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. I'm Amajal Knowles with your ZNS News headlines at 4 p.m. A full military funeral took place this morning for Police Inspector Collar Splotch. The service began at 11 o'clock this morning at the Joe Farrington Road Auditorium. 45-year-old aide-de-camp to the Governor General was sitting in his vehicle in the area of the H.O. Nash Junior High School on Dolphin Drive when he was gunned down. Faculty, staff, and students at the Stephen Dillard Primary School were in celebration mode this morning as they reflected on not only the life legacy of community activist and politician as well as businessman Stephen Dillard, but 47 years as an institution of higher learning. And Bahamian entrepreneurs from around the country said to get some much-needed information on ways to improve and make their businesses more attractive to customers during a 5-day business summit hosted by the Bahamas Business and Marketing Community Institute. Tickets are available at the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Bahamas Faith and Bahamas Faith Ministry bookstores. And that's what's making headlines at this hour. For ZNS News, I'm Amajal Knowles.
More Bahamians are being encouraged to get involved in fishing and farming in an overall view of growing our agriculture industry, putting the Bahamas in a better position to not only feed ourselves, but create a sustainable food chain of produce for export. Hello, I'm Carla Palmer. In the next episode of Agriculture Now, we'll explore the potential of the fisheries sector. Join me on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m. for Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
I always said that he was going to kill her the way he beats on her. But I never thought that this day would actually happen. So I prayed to God to deliver her, to deliver them. Isn't that all I could do? What would you have done?
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I'm on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check.
Miss, I just star now. I still gotta pay.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. From the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Meanwhile, Bahamian Shanae Miller-Ubu broke a 16-year-old Commonwealth Games record as she clinched gold in the women's 200 meters final.
I lived in fear for my life. I lived in fear for my children. I lived in fear of how I'd provide for them. I thought that he would change when he promised he would. And I forgave him every time he said that he was sorry. I became devalued as a human being until one day I ceased to exist as one.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
About love, health and wellness, transformation, yeah, we got it. Discuss your breakthroughs, national issues. This show will take you there, yeah. Taking it step by step.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not necessarily the views of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. When you need a little inspiration, tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation. When you need a little motivation, life is better on the conversation. Tune into the conversation. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. We can go far with the conversation. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah.
Everybody, welcome to the conversation. Whoa, it's a beautiful Wednesday. I feel just as summery as I look. My auburn locks with a little skin showing. Super. I should have worn this in Eleuthera yesterday. I had a great time in Eleuthera. Looking forward to going back to Eleuthera and every other family island, Grand Bahama, all of the other areas. Just looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it and featuring our islands. By the way, hello to One Eleuthera Foundation. Yeah, they had me over there yesterday. Of course, you know the headlines. You see what's been happening in the headlines, and so they had the conversation there just to kind of tell their story, and it really is an interesting and intriguing story to hear. Absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool. And so I'm very happy that the show could be mobile as well. And it really was a great response and a wonderful time being out of studio and going out there and just telling and hearing stories of various, what's happening on the various family islands, in particular Eleuthera, that it's a very hot topic right now. And it's something certainly that we will continue to follow and explore further. And so it's really cool. Big hello to you Eleutherans. I know that many of them are major fans of the conversation, and looking forward to visiting again real soon, and continuing to hear great stories. And so welcome to the show. It's really super to be back in studio. Margaret and Keishan, yeah, we will. I love traveling and going to various islands. Yeah, just taking the conversation out there and hearing our Bahamian stories. Absolutely. And so, yep, trailblazers we are. Today it's another healthy, wealthy Wednesday, and I love you're going to hear with my sponsor list, Evangelistic Temple Health Initiative, super, that's happening October 10th. You're going to hear more about that. Listen out for the commercial that's going on, because we are what we eat. Be very intentional about what we put in our mouths. It's very, very important. Very important. So pay attention to that commercial today. And of course, all my other sponsors, I'll highlight them individually in a minute. But today we have sort of a mixed bag, all dealing with just a healthy you and healthier you. And so today we're going to start with the first segment. Dathan Newton, who is a photographer, is here, and he has an amazing project that he's working on and that he has worked on for the last month, really. And you're gonna what now? Sort of really introduce this and make this public in the month of October, eh?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome to the conversation. It's cool to have you here. Tell us a little bit about exactly what it is you are working on.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me as a guest on the show. The project is called Turn Up the Pink. What it really is we're honoring 31 breast cancer survivors during the month of October. This initiative has been one that has been a great blessing to me. Why I say that is the 31 persons that we have that was selected, they're full of energy. They have fun at their photo shoot that we had planned for them. Their testimonies and stories are wonderful. What we are doing is we're highlighting one a day, one survivor a day. We're uploading their stories, what they had to go through, what inspired them, what keep them going, and kind of get them to give some inspirational words to those who are still fighting breast cancer.
So is this your project?
Yes, the project. I came up with the project. It came from me just seeing an image from one of my clients, and they did a cancer shoot, and it just kind of set off a bell in my head that I wanted to make it more known or prevalent to the public about how important it is to highlight the survivors, not just to show the persons who are still fighting, although they are important. But I think you would want to keep
people who are showing hope and what's possible, and what I guess a whole different outlook could bring you.
Yes. And like I continue to reiterate, the shoots that we have done so far, today is our final shoot day that we have. So we would have shot 31 persons in the space of a week, which is tedious, but we make it happen. We invited each person to bring what makes them feel comfortable, what inspired them, to kind of put their personality into the shoot. So we had persons who were bakers, who were cookers, who were chefs. We had persons who like to exercise, persons who like karaoke.
So this is just super then. This is like, I imagine, photographs featuring every aspect of Bahamian life, various locations, really, really super.
Yes. The thing about it is this was all done in studios, in a studio type setting, which allowed us to create every person's environment for them. So whatever they brought, we input it into the shoot, and we made it special to them. This all happened at our Carmichael Community and Business Center, which is wonderful, spacious, and like I tell you, we had a Pauline who has a kindergarten. We laid out mats, the mats that they have for the kindergarten students. We laid those out. We had toys and crayons everywhere. We had the rulers and everything. So that's what I say when we kind of bring your environment into the shoot. We had persons who were baker. They brought in their blenders, their mixers.
Oh, this is nice.
We were throwing flour all over the place.
This is nice.
It was fun, and I'm talking about the response we got from just the participants. That's why I do it, just to see the look on their face. They come expecting just a normal shoot, and this is what they say. Oh, we just think we coming to take a picture, just so you could have it.
Put your hand under your chin. Yes, and smile. Tilt your head.
The standard stuff.
Yes.
Standard stuff. But like I told them from they walk through the door, I'm not a standard photographer. I like to bring out the best in people. I love to see smiles. I like them to direct their own shoot, because it kind of would bring their own personality throughout the shoot, and it was excellent from start to finish. We end all shooting today. We have a special mix and mingle with all the sponsors and all the participants that's coming up this Friday. That's going to be awesome for them to get to meet the persons who are actually sponsoring and helping us to make this project possible.
Now, this is going to be featured starting October 1?
October 1.
And it's going to be one per day. How are you gonna sort of roll this out?
Yes, it's literally going to be one person a day. And when I say one person a day, I'm talking about 12 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. The whole day is theirs. That means we post up their photos, we post up their stories, and when I say we are pushing it, this is being pushed.
So on multiple posts, obviously.
Multiple posts, and I'm talking about, that's why we did the photo shoots. We have tons of photos of each lady, and like I tell you, we are posting and we want to make them feel special, so their day is going to feel like their birthday when it comes to us, because we are going to just be posting.
So this is really, really awesome. I mean, what message, even just the initial thing, it's not even started as yet, what has this, first of all, what message does this send, and what is the impact already?
Well, the message that it will send will be pretty clear based upon the stories that the ladies have and they told, which is, even though you have breast cancer or you've been diagnosed with it, it's not a death sentence. It's not the end. I mean, you shouldn't feel down about it. I mean, some of the stories these ladies told about how they pulled through it and how they overcome it, and it's like now they are champions in their own realm. So it's like very positive thinking for them. We have persons ranging from 2 months survival all the way up to 23 years of survivals, ages from 25 years all the way up to 65 years. So we're clearing all type of slates here. We're not trying to leave anybody out. And as well as we have ladies, we want to let people know that men also have breast cancer. And we have survivors that survive breast cancer.
Are there any males in the photo shoots and to be featured?
Boy, we would have loved that. We reached out to one or two of them, but unfortunately we couldn't get in contact, or they was off the island during this whole time of the shooting and stuff. So even though we wasn't able to shoot, if we are still able to get one or two of them, we will highlight them during the month of October, because we want people to know that it's not just a one-sex thing, means only female.
Yeah, and so now let's sort of, after the month of October and everybody is featured all 31 days and these wonderful stories that you will put out there, is there sort of, I mean, another aspect to this project where it's all going to come together, maybe like a calendar or something, and that, you know, is it going to turn into where people can purchase a calendar and this goes toward just a bigger goal?
Yes. So we have that planned. We have not told the ladies, so this, if they're listening, will be the first time that they do.
Also, I'm spilling the paint.
That they do hear this, that the photos that they took will be used to create a heroes calendar, is what we call it. We're calling them heroes because they survived and they triumphed and they continue to push on. And we are most appreciative of that. So all 31 persons will be getting their own calendar, and then we will be issuing it so it can be available to be purchased for public. And this is not a part proceed thing. All proceeds is going to the Janine Dean's Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group.
Tell us about that organization.
Well, I spoke to Janine Dean's daughter, who's now runs the foundation for her, as she passed a short time ago. In talking with her, I realized how important that organization was. They do not just look at breast cancer, they look at cancer in general. So no matter what type of cancer you have, they're there for you. They buy machines, they pay for medication, they pay for the treatments. They fly people in from the family island if they have to. So there's so much that they're doing, and it's a non-profit. So I thought it was just best, after speaking with her, to kind of partner with her and to kind of help them in their initiative, which is allowing these persons who does not have the financial needs and afford them the availability of these medications, or if they need a certain device or procedure done, that, you know, they go to this group and they're able to help them.
Where pages and social media sites that people can go to view the photographs starting next month?
Starting next month, we have 3 main pages and organizers. that are on board. One is myself, which it will be shared through D. Newton Photography as well as D. Newton Photos and my personal Dathan Newton. And then we also have as a partner Christoph Roll, who is the CEO of Church Boy Production and Church Boy Photography. So those are also pages that will be shared to. And then we have Aaron Brown, who has been a key part to this whole organization, this whole project. Why is that? It's because she had her own battle with bone cancer, and you know she's a 14-year survivor. So whether it's not breast cancer, it is cancer, and she can speak to the ladies in part to what they had to go through. So it'd be shared on her page as well as the Connect group. So that's already about 6 or 7 pages right there that it would automatically be shared to, and every sponsor that will be a part of our organization will be sharing from our pages as well. So we have about 16 sponsors in total, including myself and my other 2 organizing partners. So when you really look at that, we're looking for maximum exposure for each individual.
Mm-hmm. Well, social media is the vehicle to get it done. Certainly wonderful. So once again, just sort of give us a rundown of what can happen or what's going to happen from October 1 straight through 31st, and where people can get on board and support. In fact, people are already looking forward to it. Shay says this is a beautiful thing, and she's looking forward to seeing the photos.
Well, you can stay up to date with all of the pages I just listed so far, and to get up to date of what's going on. Like I say, we start on October 1st with everybody. We have a mix and mingle for all of the participants, as well as those who submitted and was not selected to be a part of 31. We have that so they can meet all the sponsors and see who was responsible for this to take place. We have that this Friday for them, and that's going to be at our community center at 6 p.m. As well as we have some fitness classes planned with Caribbean Sweat for the ladies. That's going to be happening.
Oh, so it's going to be like a whole month of activities. You're going to be working out. You're going to be just doing a whole lot of things to just continue to encourage the healthy lifestyle. We
want the ladies to just have fun for the month of October. We want them to feel like royalty throughout the whole month of October. We want them, and they will know their dates. They'll know the exact date in which their photos will be coming. So they'll be telling their friends and families, hey, listen here, look out for October 6th. My picture's coming out on that date. So they'll know ahead of time when their date will be. We have a church service plan at the end of the month, as well as we have on the 27th of October, which will be the biggest thing we do, which will be we're taking all the participants who are here at the time to Blue Lagoon so they can just have fun and enjoy themselves. You know, that's the plan for them to come down to have fun. And the interesting thing is we had one participant from Exuma, one participant from Abaco, and we got 2 from Eleuthera. So we didn't just keep it on Nassau. We went to the Family Islands and we told them, if y'all want to submit, y'all can submit. And we were so happy that Sky partnered with us in a way to kind of afford us to get 1 or 2 of the persons here. So that was excellent on their behalf.
Can you repeat those pages again, please? Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you. They're asking for the pages to be repeated once more.
That would be D. Newton Photography, D. Newton Photos, Dathan Newton, which is my personal, Christoph Roll, which is his personal, Church Boy Photography, Church Boy Production, Aaron Brown Connects, Aaron Brown, and the Connect Group. Those will be the main pages that the photos will be shared from.
Absolutely. So Dathan Newton, a wonderful project that you have thought of, made quite creative, and it's featuring people in their own element of what it is that they enjoy, what's a part of their life, that kind of thing. And so it's really awesome to kind of congratulations on this project. And once again, come October 1st at 12:01 a.m. or 11:59 p.m.
12:00 a.m. First thing in the morning, we drop in the first pictures and the story.
Who's the first person? that'll be a surprise?
No, it's actually not a surprise. We are not selecting them based off of just random. We have the event that's going to happen this Friday. We're going to allow them, it's going to be a shuffled bag, so they're going to pick their numbers in accordance to when they'll be. So
it's fair. Nobody be like, well,
nobody be like, oh, I
want
that date. Oh, I wanted that date. Why all book me on this date and that date? Everybody is completely random. You put your hand in the bag, you pick your number, that's your day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dathan, for stopping by and talking about this project. By the way, once again, at the end of it all, there will be a calendar produced. That calendar will be on sale, and it goes to a very worthy cause. And so look out for those pages once again, and look out to see the photographs, right? And celebrate each person for that day. Celebrate them and their stories. Dathan, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me once again. And before I go, before she gets mad at me, one of our participants, her birthday is today. I just want to say happy birthday to Shanique Brown. And we hope you're enjoying your day, and we look forward to continuing working with you, and you have an amazing day.
Stay exactly where you are. The conversation comes back right after this.
Real change starts now. G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9,000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $3.99. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $5.99? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
At Miden's Wholesale, the concept is simple. The more you buy, the more you save. Yes, the more you buy, the more you save. This means that at Miden's Wholesale, when you buy in the same group 3 products, you get 15% off, 6 products, 20% off, and 12 products or more, 33% off. Miden's provides you with the largest selection of pantyhose, socks, T-shirts, school supplies, underwear, and much, much more. You can also sign up to be a reseller of BTC and Digicel Top-Up and to save 33% on your purchase at Miden's Wholesale. We also ship to the Family Islands, and that's not all, because when you shop at Miden's, you can pay your utility bills, send MoneyGram, RIA transfer, and purchase tickets from Sky Bahamas and Western Air. So visit Miden's Wholesale today at any of 3 locations, East Street South, Robinson Road, or Lower Bogey, Luthra. Call 325-4434 or 676-4435.
My teacher say I have hate my heart, that I am no good, that I like to fight too much. Who does she think put it there? In my house, if you question Daddy, you get a black eye. In my house, a fist is power.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
I lived in fear for my life. I lived in fear for my children. I lived in fear of how I'd provide for them. I thought that he would change when he promised he would, and I forgave him every time he said that he was sorry. I became devalued as a human being until one day I ceased to exist as one.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
The ZNS Network, the People's Station.
After the Act passes, only registered suppliers will be able to bid on available opportunities. Don't get left out. Register your business on the e-procurement and supplier registry system. The process takes just 2 minutes. Register today at www.suppliers.gov.bs.
or call the help desk at 604-1049 for assistance.
Let's talk about love, health and wellness, transformation, yeah, we got it. Discuss your breakthroughs, national issues. This show will take you there, yeah. Taking it step by step, living your best life yet. Getting stronger and living longer. Let's figure out the questions for ya. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. When you need a little inspiration, tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation. When you need a little motivation, life is better on the conversation. Tune into the conversation. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. We can go far with the conversation. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah. Here with Shanique on the conversation, yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, still on the whole health theme and show and that kind of thing. But yeah, so Shay King and Tanya McFall, welcome to the conversation on a healthy, wealthy wellness Wednesday. Yeah, my God, say that.
Thank you.
Healthy wellness. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
I know, right? Welcome, welcome to the conversation. It's really nice to have you. I'll get it, but it's the same. It's the same thing, you know. Same thing.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Thank you. That's it right there. Yeah, so welcome to the show, ladies. It's wonderful to have you both here. How are you doing?
I'm good, Shanique.
The curly look is in, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
you can join us next time.
I'm thinking about something else. But I saw somebody in the hallway with the curly look, and I was admiring her when I saw the two of you walked in. I was admiring that curly look. Yeah, it's really cool.
That should be fun. The holiday is coming, so.
Oh, so the holiday calls for curly look?
Holidays call for anything new. Because you know that's the best time. You know, going out, you're having a good time. You're eating healthy while you're out. Let's not forget that part. Okay. But why not try a different look?
Yes, absolutely.
I like that, Tanya. That's a good segue.
Oh, yeah, she pushed that right there. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and so today we're going to look at sweeteners. And are all sweeteners equal? A play on that word, equal. Remember, but do people still use those anymore?
Apparently so, Shanique. They are using equal because just upward last weekend, I went around into some of the grocery stores and looking to see what was on the shelf, contemplating this show. And yes, people are still using equal, sweet and low, sweet thin. There's a bunch of names out there. We're going to talk about that some more because, Shanique, you know, sugar isn't sugar anymore. And sugar apparently is sugar. So we can figure that out today.
And which sugar is the sugar we should be indulging in.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
I know we have some wonderful, healthier options, but first we're going to look at those ones that people feel, the world knows, stay away from the white stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we clear on that. Stay away from the white stuff. But is there, coconut sugar is white. Is that a good alternative?
Coconut sugar is white?
Yeah.
No, man, coconut sugar ain't white, Shanae.
It isn't white?
No, coconut sugar has a caramel-like color. If coconut sugar is white, I have a problem with that. Coconut sugar
is white. I mean, it's close to white. When you look at it through a bag, it looks white.
No.
So people may say, but the point is that's a healthy alternative than regular sugar.
Yes. Let me tell you, the natural sugars has a brown caramel type color. However, now when sugar is refined from the coarser grain into a powder, it may appear more white because in the processing of the sugar, a lot of the caramel natural coating is being stripped, and so it appears to look more white. But even coconut sugar naturally has a caramel brown color, Shanique. Let me tell you, a lot of sugars today are being refined in such a way that it's not even noticeable anymore. And in addition to that, there are a lot of sugar alternatives, sugar substitutes, and what you would refer to as sweeteners. It's a separate category from sugars altogether, Shanique.
Yeah, and so let's just look at some of what we have deemed, because for the longest while, years back, I indulged and I used for everything a sweetener that came in a packet this big, and it was yellow. And that was, for the longest while, being touted as healthy and the next best thing, or the next best alternative to the regular sugar. Low in calorie.
Yes.
It's sweeter than regular sugar. Until a few years later, they said, oh, no, run from that. That is not at all good. That is not,
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the inequality of these sweeteners.
I love that choice of words, Shanique. I love it, Shanique. Listen, the thing is, even when we look back at a lot of the commercials, when they talked about a lot of these sugar substitutes that were in the white packet, they never used the word healthy in terms of the sugar. They were talking about calorie for calorie. That's how they compared it. They compared it as being almost as sweet as sugar with less calories, because, Shanique, back in the day, it was always about counting calories in, calories out, lower your calories to lose weight. Just over the years, as we continue to embark on this health journey, we realize that it's a lot bigger than calories in and calories out. Plus, all calories are not equal. And so now the marketing scheme has shifted a lot, because the truth of the matter is, even then to today, none of those sweeteners that are in those little packages are necessarily good for you in terms of your health. Plus, in addition to that, it had no nutrient value at all. None. And so it was just simply marketed as a low-calorie alternative sweetener, which it is, but the side effects far outreach it being low in calories.
Yeah, because then they started talking about that, that sweetener, and saying how that sweetener can cause this and cause this, and I used to use that in my tea and oatmeal, whatever.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that because we were so concerned about the calorie intake, we said, okay, it's going to help us to lose weight. And then studies came up later and showed us that the persons who indulge in such sweeteners, they were actually more at risk for diabetes.
Yes.
They were more at risk for being obese. So it was like an automatic switch. Like, hold on, you just told me this is okay.
It was opposite.
That this is healthy, that this is wonderful. We should use this.
Right. And so you had that big switch.
And it was actually always there, It's just that they started to redesign how they marketed it. Because the thing is, these sugar alternative and substitutes always played a role as it relates to your neurotransmitters and how it kind of tricked or made the body feel as if it was getting something that was good for it. However, that was not the case, because what we find out is for persons who have been on these sugar for a long period of time, the way it's marketed is as today, we find that it is linked to so many things like Parkinson's disease, actually diabetes, believe it or not, and also too, you find persons suffering with the taste buds are kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's like
it's a little off.
Yeah, it's a little off. You can't really. People are not experiencing what the real taste of any food, for that matter, is like. So it has altered their taste buds, if you will, over a period of time. And so, when we look at sugar, Shanique, I know we've been accustomed to the marketing out there as it relates to sugar, but we really have to seriously look deeper at our sugar, because this substitute is not necessarily a substitute is going to lend to you in terms of your health long term.
Oh, super.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about, because some people feel it's okay because the white sugar message has, I think, really been very successful. So people figure they could get the brown sugar. We'll talk about that, but I want to say a big hello to Marcia Ware, watching from Freeport. Also, Kiran says, my coconut sugar is brown. It has a funny aftertaste, so I prefer honey. Does coconut sugar have an aftertaste?
The thing is, you see what he just said? It has a funny aftertaste. See, I really believe that, see, for someone, let's just put myself in this category, Shanique. When I taste, if I taste the artificial sweeteners in something that is disguised and someone didn't say it to me, immediately I know it's there because I think it has a funny taste. I don't think coconut sugar has a funny taste, but that's exactly what I was saying, because we have been so accustomed to a lot of these sugars, synthetics, and substitute over a period of time in our food disguise. It has really changed exactly. And so again, this gentleman here is speaking to it.
And so the thing is, you know, Kieran, I mean, we'll talk about honey, we'll get there, because, you know, too much of anything, but we'll get there. But, you know, maybe give coconut sugar a try again. And sometimes I'll tell you the best thing in terms of sort of reestablishing your taste buds and being able to discern tastes is sometimes to just leave the sweeteners alone entirely.
Yeah, right, Shanique, yes.
And maybe from time to time, if you want to, because everybody likes a sweetened tea or coffee or something from time to time, then add something. But just normally, just go without sugar at all.
That's that's a good suggestion. Yeah. I'm one of the persons who don't like sugar in my tea. So for me,
forever,
I just don't like sugar in my tea. Now coffee is different, but tea, and it, like you said, it exposes your taste buds to something different. It provides a new flavor. I remember there was this health piece that I watched a few years ago on the show called A Balancing Act, and it said that Michael J. Fox, one of the reasons why he was prematurely exposed to Parkinson's disease was because of him repeatedly drinking a beverage that he represented for some few years. So it was a soda beverage.
Oh, wow.
And a diet soda beverage.
And had artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, that's come up before about just the dangers of sodas,
right?
And even diet sodas, because of those artificial sweeteners in there and whatever other additive there is. So continue, Tanya.
And so when we look at when we hear stories about this, and we think about the fact that we say, okay, this yellow package, pink package, blue package it has less calories, so it's going to help me to lose weight. So what am I going to do instead? Since this is more healthier option, I'm going to have a bigger slice of cake. Right. So we find we increase our caloric intake on another area, which is more damaging, especially if we're not active.
But just a side note, we don't want to classify that as a healthy option because it's not a healthy option. We're going to talk about the healthy options coming up. But any of these synthetic sweeteners like the aspartame, the sucrose, the saccharin, sweet and low, sweet thin, these are not considered healthier options. They're considered lower calorie substitute alternative options. There's a difference.
Shay, let's talk about some of the danger. Tanya mentioned about how the diet sodas have these artificial sweeteners that in the documentary you watched was being attributed to Michael J. Fox's condition. Let's talk about the risks of intaking these low-caloried artificial sweeteners.
I'm going to speak to what can happen. I mean, when we talk about layman's terms, right? What happens when we actually put these types of sugars or artificial sweeteners in the body immediately, and also there's a long-term effect. So, because sometimes people say, oh, it's a minute possibility and it's a thin line on how long. But when you talk about sugar, Shanique, I have about 20 beverages here today with sugars. Some white sugar and some artificial sweeteners. But let me just read this article here that says in the first 10 minutes after you've had sugar or some form of artificial sugar, what it actually does, and this is also to enhance the flavor, what it actually does is it cuts the, recommended. Okay, so what it actually does, it actually can induce vomiting. But what has happened is there is another substitute. This is how they actually trick and change the food around. So in the dangers of eating the food, the symptom doesn't appear right away. So in the first 10 minutes, you can have uncontrollable vomiting. So what has happened is a certain amount of citric acid is added into to kind of balance the sugar a little bit, so you wouldn't have this uncontrollable vomiting. Sometimes, in some cases, people still have the vomiting, and they don't necessarily will link it to the artificial sweetener that's in the drink. Yes. There's also, I don't want to call it a brand name, but there's also a energy drink, if you will, that has artificial sweetener, and it also has blue 1 and blue 10 and yellow 5 in it, which are all artificial colors. Now, in drinking this particular what do you call it, energy drink, some of the side effects is also linked to Alzheimer's, short-term memory loss, allergies, hives like popping up on the skin, and the swelling of the tongue within the first 5 to 10 minutes. And so when people say things like, you know, I have an allergy or I have a food allergy, we have to look closer at the types of food and the ingredients, and a lot of them are linked to synthetic, Shanique.
That's right, because and a lot of these things are so awesomely disguised.
Yes.
They're disguised that you don't even know. I just read an article just this week about this 15-year-old who was allergic to sesame and sesame seeds and the rest of that. And so she had this bagel.
Right.
It did not say that it had it did not state it, because of course she looked. It came packaged. But of course it was in there. It was baked in there somehow. Just to talk about how things can be hidden.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, she wasn't able to survive that.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just, you have to just be so careful.
Right. And it's scary too, Shanique. When we look at traditional sodas, right? If we're a parent and we are saying we want our child to have a safer or a better alternative, when we look at Coke, Shanique, it actually has about 8 3/4 of sugars, just under 9 of teaspoons, right, in a can. But when you look at something that is supposed to be considered healthier, like a Capri Sun, it actually has 6 teaspoons of sugar in the same amount of servings.
And it's this little small.
Right,
so
it's smaller. So if you bring up the volume
syrup,
to the same sugar, to the same amount as in a Coke, the sugar will actually be on par. So again, these are hidden messages that they're trying to disguise. I know even there's a popular energy drink that we know as Red Bull. This has 6.8 teaspoons of sugar. I mean, when you compare
all the other things,
right? Plus all the other things. When you compare that to
feel so energetic,
yes. When you compare that to a fizzy soft drink, the equal amount of sugar is really the same, Shanique. And in addition to that, is the energy drink has all of the other additives, and in addition to having white sugar, it also has synthetic sugar. So they're cutting back the white sugar, but they're adding in the synthetic, so the calories can be lower, but the cost and the damage of effect of drinking it versus a soda is equally the same.
This is The Conversation. It is a Wealthy Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about the sweetness that you use. Yeah, the low sweetness to get that waistline whittled down. The thing about it is snatched, right? The thing about it is, though, it's really causing so much more. But we have alternatives. We have the healthier sweeteners and sugars coming up in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. The conversation continues after this break.
My name is Kim Kruskalis. I'm the owner and director of Blairwood Academy, and I first joined Alive probably about 1.5 years ago. I decided it was time to switch, and I went in to the store, and I never looked back. My most memorable experience with them in the last 1.5 years has to be this last summer. I was away in Europe, and of course, I didn't know exactly how to work all the roaming and the data. I was a little bit concerned because it wasn't working at first. I texted somebody I knew at Alive, and within 2 seconds, I got a response back, and I was told that tomorrow I would be getting a call from an Alive representative. Well, that call came at about 10 a.m. European time, 5 a.m. Bahamian time. I cannot say enough about Alive and how they are in the community, so open and accommodating. My name is Kim Kruskalis, and I believe in best.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th, when a hurricane alert is issued for your area, which indicates the possibility that you could experience hurricane conditions within 60 hours. You should begin the initial stages of preparation for the storm. When the storm is 48 hours away, a hurricane watch is issued. Once a watch is issued, be sure to get updates from the Met Office via television and radio. Get your battery-powered radio ready. Keep your emergency supply kit, blankets, and sleeping bags handy, and your children and pets indoors. Be sure you have extra cash and that your car has a full tank of gas. Fill all prescriptions. A hurricane warning means that a storm with winds of 74 miles per hour or more is 36 hours away. At this point, secure all windows with shutters and plywood. Place your valuables and records in waterproof containers and store them on the highest floor of your home or in the safest area. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
Welcome back to the conversation, everybody. Thank you all so much for your questions. Joanne wants to know how about agave. Joanne, we're going to get to agave in a minute because we'll get to that after 5. You know why? Because while these are healthy, anyway, we'll get to that because that's one of the healthy options we're going to talk about. But, you know, anything. Karen says, Red Bull is filled with sugar and caffeine, which is a double whammy. Yeah, that's why so many people have so much issues.
Yep.
With drinking Red Bull. And then, of course, you know, the men want company the Red Bull with the blue pill.
With stuff.
And so think
it's
about...
the blue pill?
The blue pill.
Oh, yeah.
The blue pill, yes.
Yeah. I used to mix it up with the purple pill. The purple pill is this one that's, and that's the blue pill.
What's the purple pill?
No, the digestive. That's like that.
Oh, for gut health?
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, it's like, it ain't gut health. It's like, how do you say, heartburn and...
okay.
That's the purple pill. The blue pill is the other thing.
The other thing.
And then not only that, we think about Junkanoo season. So we have the
That's what people do a lot.
The Red Bull with the alcohol.
With alcohol.
And then not only that, many of them haven't properly exercised prior to going down on base.
Thank you for all year.
So all of these,
so it's the poor eating. You know, when that I haven't heard it recently, and thank God. But I remember a few seasons being on Bay Street, and we would hear, "Oh, something happened in such and such a camp," you know, right on the route, you know. This person fell out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because of the Red Bull and the alcohol mix and unhealthy eating. Because you know, when you're in the shacks battling for months, listen, you know, the order of the day is some fried chicken and some whatever.
Some greasy.
Always praise him. Karen says, I would say that all energy drinks are basically poison. And Shay, I'll tell you, Margaret asked about a drink that is healthy, whatever, but then you dissected that during the break and say, well, Margaret, fine, the electrolytes are good. Explain all that. Explain the fact that if you want energy with the electrolytes and all that, But what comes with that, with the coloring and all?
So electrolytes really is like your body's natural salt, or when in the hospital they call it drips, you know, when they give you minerals and magnesium to really hydrate and restore the body's natural flora in order to be able to survive or hydrate and give you energy. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of drinks, if you will, that are here today that is for the purpose of what has electrolytes in it. However, unfortunately, they are filled with dyes. Now, dyes dehydrate. It strips. It pulls out.
So then these energy drinks or rehydrating drinks,
exactly,
they
have components in it that actually pulls.
So you're trying to get somewhere, but it's pulling you back at the same time.
Exactly. So you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So you have to use wisdom. Outside of water or mineralizing your water, alkaline water, or adding magnesium, salts, potassium to your water, coconut water is an excellent source of electrolytes. If you literally just have spring water at home, get some mountain, pink, Himalaya, what is this?
Himalayan.
Yes. We was having this debate, right?
Yes.
Himalayan. I call it mountain.
See, no. When she can talk about mountain, first of all, me and Margaret say, hold on, man, what again? She said, no, Margaret, no, you need some mountain salt. We're like, Jesus is another salt, and it's called mountain salt. So then when she said, yeah, pink salt, I said, she was, my God, just say that. Why you gotta be so, Margaret, you know what I mean? Like, why she had to be so extra with that? That caused me to panic. To say,
I know,
is something else I don't know about? You know what I mean? There's something else I need to know about?
Pink salt is supposed to be known to come from the mountains areas, right?
Yeah.
So it's easier because, you know, I get my tongue twisted with all this other stuff.
Yes.
But nonetheless, if you don't have any type of a drink at home that can give you the electrolytes, I love that, Shanique. You can just simply take your spring water and add in some mountain salt, and that'll help to electrolytes.
And why the mountain salt versus over the sea salt?
Yes, because we're trying to give electrolytes. We're not trying to increase our sodium. We're trying to give the body electrolytes. So there's a complete difference. So you do not want to use traditional salt in water for adding electrolytes.
And I'll say this, you know, that sea salt, because I just recently, when I say recently, over months, started using the pink salt.
Right.
Because normally I would just cook with herbs and stuff, and then I'm like, but sometimes I need a little something.
Yes.
And we always had sea salt. That sea salt is the ocean times a million.
Yes.
Yeah. It truly is, well, sea salt, but no, it truly is very potent.
Yes,
and you don't want to increase the sodium in your body, because then that leads to other issues.
Exactly.
As healthy as it is.
Is right, yeah. It's supposed to be used as a condiment, which is sparingly and just a little bit to enhance the flavor. But there's so many other options outside of salt today, Shanique, to be able to enhance your food quality.
Which I love. You get those nice herbs and stuff. Like you like to cook with things like cilantro and all this. Like when you cook, when you kind of bring all of that to a dish, it is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and the real flavors of the food come out.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's a question.
Yeah, Joanne asks, they say Vitamalt is good for you. What about Vitamalt?
Well, long as they say, you know, we have a family in the Bahamas, the They Say family. Let me tell you, that family is a huge family. I'm just putting it out there, Shanique.
Very influential.
The They Say is influential at the highest level. Now, I'm not sure which They Say told you. The thing is, Vitamalt, I remember it when it first hit the market as an
energy drink and a good alternative.
Right, a good alternative in terms of vitamins and minerals added to it. Again, whenever you look at something that's added to it, you want to look at the source that it's coming from. So I personally don't drink Vitamalt, but I think it's somewhere down the middle in terms of a better alternative. It's not necessarily the best alternative, because when it comes to any supplementing or additional nutrients, you want to make sure it's from a real sauce and not a synthetic sauce.
And then when we're having the Vitamalt, I like Vitamalt. I'll admit, nice and icy cold. I like my Vitamalt. But the problem is, what I've seen is that people like to have, because the Vitamalt is a meal supplement, we tend to have it with a big meal.
Of course, listen to me. When I used to have it, OMG, nothing is better. When I used to drink Vitamalt, cold. But I mean that big Bahamian dish.
It has to be a big dish. It's never
no, it can't be the salad and stuff. No, it doesn't go well. You need your peas and rice, your macaroni and cheese, your potato salad, your fried steamed chicken,
and a cold Vitamalt,
or your barbecue chicken and your cold Vitamalt. No. When I used to drink it, that's how I drank it with that. With a
but
big
Vitamalt is not a bad. I wouldn't throw Vitamalt.
So then, Shay, what about what Karen says? It messes with a woman's hormones.
It has been known to, and I think that is because the synthetic forms of vitamins that is in it. Because when we think, particularly if you look into Vitamalt, it has a lot of folic acid, and women should not be using folic acid. They should actually be using folate, which is a real source of this particular B vitamin, not folic.
And where do you get folate?
You look in a real source of multivitamins, and you will find it says folate, unlike folic. Two different things.
Jason says that, by the way, thanks for watching from Exuma, Jason. Jason says, I tried all the energy drinks on the market, and I feel that the 5-hour drink shot is the best because it has no sugar and only 4 calories.
Oh, Jason, sorry to hear that. No. We don't subscribe. They're all. Jason, let me tell you this. Take it a step further. Turn your can around, and I promise you there's going to be 2 words in the 5-hour energy drink that you don't recognize. Call me and let me know what those 2 words is on. And Shanique and I and Tanya will talk about it on the next show.
Interesting enough, I saw a doctor once that if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body.
Yep.
So off the list of ingredients is from here to next week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stay exactly where you are. The news at 5 is straight ahead. This is... And stay close.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not necessarily the views of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
This is a ZNS News Update. Good afternoon, I'm Keishla Adderley. Disney Cruise officials are in the Bahamas pleading their case over a proposed development at the Lighthouse Point in South Eleuthera. Ahead tonight, why they say their proposal is better than the one put forth earlier. Suspected cocaine found in a Haitian sloop landed 13 Haitian nationals before the court today. Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, why only a portion of the group will face jail time. And final goodbyes to Inspector Carlos Blatch. Hear the moving tributes to the slain officer coming up in the Bahamas tonight. We'll have a look at all those stories and more coming up at 6 and 7. We hope you'll join us then. Good afternoon.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9,000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $3.99. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $5.99? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or $36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
When a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, it's extremely important to be prepared and know just what to do. Stay informed about the storm's path by listening to the radio or television for hurricane progress reports. Check emergency food and household supplies. Be sure you have extra batteries for your flashlights and radios. Bring in outdoor things like lawn furniture and garden tools. Anchor objects that cannot be brought inside. Secure buildings by closing and boarding up windows. Remove outside antennas and satellite dishes. Turn refrigerators and freezers to the coldest settings. Open only when absolutely necessary and close quickly. Purchase ice and store it in an ice chest. Keep drinking water in clean jugs and bottles. Clean your bathtub with bleach and fill it with water for washing and flushing, not for drinking. Making sure to keep the bathroom door closed so small children cannot access the filled tub. Do not go out to videotape or take photos of the storm. Stay inside and take those pictures from where it's safe and dry. There's no harm in being overly cautious where a hurricane is concerned. It is truly better to be safe than sorry. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
I've narrowed the audio signatures to 2 locations, Orleans and Westboro. What do you think, Pete? Westboro? This one's near an industrial park. I say we start there. Yeah, sounds good. Let's go. Follow my lead.
Welcome to Sanjay's Real Time. Can I take your order? We're federal agents. Oh my God, this is so law and order right now. Dun dun.
We need the address of everyone who's ordered the Bombay bun in the last 24 hours.
Hi, I'm Stuart Cove, and for many years, I've taken pride in introducing young Bahamians and international visitors to the wonders of our Bahamian underwater world. Our marine ecosystem helps to keep our tourism industry and fisheries sector healthy and lucrative. We must all do our part in protecting it for future generations. And that is why I ensure our staff and customers are taught about the importance of coral reefs. I do this and more to protect our underwater life because I care. Do you?
Let's talk about love, health and wellness, transformation, yeah, we got it. Discuss your breakthroughs, national issues. This show will take you there, yeah. Taking it step by step, living your best life yet. Getting stronger and living longer. Let's figure out the questions for ya. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. When you need a little inspiration, tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation.
Welcome back to the conversation, guys. It is a Wealthy Wellness Wednesday. There's a healthy aspect to it. It all encompasses that. But welcome to the show. Today's show is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance, Almighty Computers. You know, Almighty Computers and where they're located. They have great, great deals for you. Wonderful deals. They even have wonderful DVD days. And so you want to go and visit Almighty Computers and just get yourself caught up on just anything that you need. Almighty Computers, if I pull up the information right now, just to let you know where they're located. Yes, Almighty Computers is located on Market Street and East Street South, and they have mega sales. As I said, they have DVD days, and on those DVD days, movies are only $1, just $1. We also being brought today by Maiden's Wholesale. You know Maiden's Wholesale. They have from wholesale prices on a bunch of uniform stuff and back to school stuff. Maiden's Wholesale. Also, just really, you know, making it very easy for you to go there and win, because not only are you shopping at wholesale prices, but when you get to the register, you have additional savings as well. So go and see exactly what's on sale this week. There are 2 locations here in New Providence. That is, first of all, the first location is Robinson Road, and the phone numbers there 601-3305, 326-7449. Then there's East Street South, 676-4435 or 325-4434. And Lower Bogie Luthra, yeah, I didn't get to Lower Bogue, but they went in over there with Maiden's Wholesale. Lower Bogie Luthra 335-2087 or 699-5087. Maiden's Wholesale, thank you so much for coming on board the conversation. Money managers, remember what money managers are saying. They can assist you in getting rid of credit card debt, or, you know, the little payment you got going on from the furniture store or whatever it is. They can assist you in getting rid of that and also paying them back at very, very low interest rates. So credit cards are, say, about 18 to 21%. Well, what Money Managers is offering you is about, say, 10%.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Just awesome. We also being brought to you today by S&M Uniforms. S&M Uniforms is located on Marshall Road, and this happens all year round, not just in time for school. S&M Uniforms has 50% off on uniforms for C.I. Gibson, C.R. Walker, Donald Davis, H.O. Nash, Gerald Cash Primary. S&M Uniform is also making it easier for residents in the areas of Carmichael Road, Marshall Road North and South, Faith Avenue, and Pinewood Gardens. You all get an additional 10% off. Also includes Anatole Rogers and Prince William, C.V. Bethels, S.C. McPherson, Bahamas Academy, Sadie Curtis, and Cleveland Eneas. S&M Uniform, the phone number there at S&M Uniform is 361-0126, 361-0126. Also, Evangelistic Temple, yes, right down the street. Is it up or down? Well, however you see it.
Down.
So that's, yeah, where I am, right down the street. Evangelistic Temple is having a great health initiative. They're bringing in the nutritionist, Dr. Patty Simonet, October 10th. It's going to be a major thing. They're even having a fun run walk. But she is talking about, just as we're talking about today, she is going to be there talking about how are you to eat, the right things to eat, the fact that, you know, greens are your friends, yeah, whether you drink it or eat it, but it's good to do all of that. Just get involved, go and participate in this event, and it's really, really informative and inspires and encourages you to just go out there and live a better, healthier life. And it's so super because that helps you avoid a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. Including these sweetness and sugars that we're talking about today. We also being brought to you today by GM Appliances. Thank you so much, GM Appliances. GM Appliances has specials on ductless units starting from as low as $3.99, and boy, you need it. You absolutely need it in this summer heat. It's coming up on October and it's still warm. You know, we haven't had a cool Christmas in a minute.
I would love a cool Christmas.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, but you know, people.
You'll see all the boots come out of nowhere.
Listen, just a nice wind. Boots and fur
everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Just 1 second of cold.
Hello, well, listen, pull that out. Let's do this. Let's do this with some nice hair. Let's make it happen.
Exactly. Get some boots in yours when you're
absolutely. Ready. GM Appliances 328-2083, 328-2083. Thank you all so much for coming on board the conversation, supporting the show. It's really awesome having you here. By the way, if you would like to advertise on the conversation, this is very important, very, very important, because you win, okay? Your business, your event, all of it, you win. 805-2494, 805-2494. Give Renard Miller a call and let him set you up and get you here. 805-2494. Thank you all so much for coming on board the conversation. I look forward to welcoming many more of you. Okay? So, listen, now, I don't know, look like they have a little tiff going on about sweeteners and that kind of thing. Somebody said something that we have to go back to. I glimpsed it as I was acknowledging my sponsors, and now I'm trying to get back to that comment. I don't know if many of you saw it. Somebody said, oh, she is trying so hard to lose weight, but what?
Gotta have a sugar.
She has to have a sugar.
Listen, if only Lady J, if only for your health, forget the waistline for a second. If only for your health, leave the sugar alone. And then what sugar are you talking about, Lady J?
Yeah.
What sugar are you talking about? Like, what kind of sugar? But we can get there. Don't worry about that. And what is Jeff talking about?
Jeff, he's speaking gibberish.
Yeah, Jeff, what's happening with this language, this new language you're talking about? And so, yeah, let the people know seriously about these sweeteners and bad sugars and the risks.
So listen, let's look at aspartame. That's the first one of these sugars, and that is actually like the NutraSweet, the Equal, the Sugar Twin, as we see them in the food store. This is actually 200 times sweeter than table sugar. So just think about that for a second. And then you have another one called...
Well, then does that mean that people would use less then?
They should be using less, and that's the purpose behind marketing these sugar substitute, for you to use less. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we know the stories and how that usually works, right, Shanique?
Yeah, listen, I can testify. I'll tell you, in the early 2000s when I was using sweetener,
yes,
low calorie or no calorie at all, and boy, I was just in heaven, like, whoa, this is so awesome. I was using 5.
Wow.
No, five.
Five packets.
5 little packets, and I would have that in my tea. Yes.
And I remember looking on the back of those boxes. You turn it around. They say on the box you can use out of the packet. You can actually use half or a whole packet, and that's intentional because they know it's supposed to be a certain amount of times sweeter than sugar. So there's another one that's called saccharin, and that's 700 times sweeter than table sugar. Again, intentionally. And saccharin is known as sweet and low, or sweet thin, or sweet nectar. And then there's another one called sucralose, which is 600 times sweeter than table sugar, and that is known under the brand name Splenda. So we're familiar with these, yeah. So sucralose will actually be the ingredient, and the brand name that we know it as is Splenda.
That's the one I used.
Right. And that is supposed to be 600 times sweeter than table sugar. 600 times.
So imagine putting 4 packets.
5.
Right. 5 packets.
Girl, you want a sugar?
Yeah, you honest. You honest.
I see Lady J talking about white sugar on everything. No, Lady J, because listen to me.
No. And so, Shanique, let me tell you, one of the sugars that are out today, Shanique, it is considered the new sugar, and really, and it's approved by the FDA, Shanique. It is big.
So how new is it?
It is actually since 2015. 2015, new. But it is right now presently in a lot of foods that we know it to be today. However, it's not on ready available today, especially in our region, as like an over-counter sweetener packer that you use. You have the company now using it as an enhancer, a flavor enhancer, in a lot of packaged and refined foods or sugar-free foods, like that would be on your grocery shelf aisles, like would be deemed as sugar-free, but it has a type of sweetener in it as a sweetened alternative. And today, that sugar is called Advocacy. It's a new we call it the new sugar alternative, and it's Advocacy, and it is 20,000 times sweeter than table sugar.
But who would need that?
Exactly.
Who would need something that's 20,000?
20,000 times.
Yeah, why?
But now listen to this, Shanique. Not only that, it's 20,000 times sweeter. That's why I say when it comes to health, you have to really become proactive, Shanique, and just read through that very thin line of what is good for you and what is not so good for you, because Advocacy really, it is approved by the FDA, right? Now get this. When I was reading up to date on the research, right, it's approved by the FDA, right? And they also went ahead to say that it's approved for food and beverages. And they also want to say that countries like Europe, Australia, and New Zealand.
I bet they have it banned.
No. Right. But let me tell you the trick behind that. Listen to this now. I want you guys to figure this out. In Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, it's not banned, right? However, in some of those same countries, aspartame is banned. So listen to what Advocacy is. Advocacy is a highly intense sweetener, and it's approved by the FDA, and it is derived from aspartame.
They could trick us, eh?
And vanillin. Vanillin is a sweet extract synthetically made to mimic vanilla.
Yeah.
You see how these people playing with us?
You know what I don't understand? How is it that the FDA can approve so many things that come from plastic or something for people to ingest?
Because they have an organization that's independent outside of the FDA that's called GRAS. It's GRAS, and it's considered what they call generally safe for consumption. But all of the brackets is it's supposed to be a minuscule amount.
Not even minimum, minuscule.
Right, minuscule amount. And all of the research they've done, some of the research, what is so funny, is done in a 10-month period of time, a year period of time. And these people that are consuming these additives have been consuming these for 10, years. 15, 20 years. So you're giving us research that doesn't even speak to what is, what is valid in real terms.
And the thing about it is too, is with a lot of these things that you offer, the sucralose, the saccharin, all of them have already been approved by the FDA.
Yes.
And when we look at Advocacy, as you said, it's 20,000 times sweeter than what we already have on our tables. And the only thing that's not going to be found in, or not found in right now, are meats.
Yes.
So you have it in your gelatin, you'll have it in your baked goods.
And it's hidden, and you're right, it's hidden in
beverages.
everything.
Everywhere.
But
everything. 1 second, Shay. I have somebody holding, so let's get to them. By the way, Karen says, when you put something in your body that you're not able to pronounce, the ingredients, do not eat or drink it, because they have become numb and don't really care about. No, you're right. You're right. They care about the dollar signs, and that's exactly what it is. By the way, Lady J says she's cut out soda, okay.
Good
but she said she, you know, but sugar got to be in her tea. And I know her tea obviously is a syrup, syrup central. Hi, Pat. Thank you very much for calling into the show today. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi, Shanique. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And good day to your guest.
Good day.
Shanique and your guest, I have a question in reference to when you're taking like medication like steroids, and you know the effects of the steroids with the bloating, like the weight gain and whatever have you. Realistically, how can you go about as far as a proper or can you lose weight? I heard some person speak on it, weight loss plan, and while taking these medications, because a lot of medications have these effects where it actually puts a lot of weight on you.
Yeah, they do. And I've heard people say, women say how they were or are on steroid medication and they put on weight. Yeah.
Yes. So any tips or whatever, I'll hang up and I'll listen, okay?
Okay, thank you, Pat. Thank you.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. She was speaking to how can you actually lose weight while you're on a lot of the medications. Okay, let me tell you, that is a good question, and I appreciate that. One of the things I will tell you to do is because you are on medication for a period of time, you want to stay closely monitored to your physician, one, and then you want to use that opportunity to eat the best that you possibly can, because in this case, you're going to use your food actually to help you to continue to lose weight or to combat gaining as much weight as you will when you're on some medication as a side effect. And so don't necessarily look to go on a diet plan, if you will. You just want to use your food to help you to lose weight. And one of the ways to do that is while you're on these medication, you can intermittent fasting, which is looking at the amount of times that you eat and allowing your body to rest for a period of time to allow the body to burn the stored fat. And that's a good way to help you to continue to lose weight and not count calories, but also still be able to continue to take your medication.
Karen raised an important point when she said that the manufacturers are becoming numb. They're thinking of the economies of scale. When we look at the sweeteners, to produce the sweeteners is less than a fraction of what it takes to produce sugar.
Yes.
So for me, I'm thinking about how I could save more money and how I could profit. I'm going to settle to all of these countries, so sugar costs what, $4, $5 for brown sugar. And it's going to cost me probably less than $1 for an artificial sweetener.
Yes.
What do you think as a manufacturer they're going to lean toward? It's not the best thing.
Money.
But money.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And so, you know, today we are talking about sweeteners and sugars. And of course, where's the devil in the room, right? And so we are trying to encourage people like Lady J not to partake in the sugar that she loves, and the fact that, you know what, you can have sweeteners, and people may say, oh, but I hate the aftertaste of this and that, and we're going to get to those, but I hate the aftertaste of this or that because no, seriously, like Lady J, let me tell you, here and there, and this is very rare, that I would love the traditional Lipton tea. In it. And, you know, you want that sweet. I never know honey. You want, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a way Lipton tea is supposed to be. But boy,
especially with cream.
Yes.
So you want to embrace that. I understand that. I understand that.
Lipton tea with the cream.
Yeah, so we get that.
Yeah, no, but I haven't had it. I haven't had it. I'll tell you this, but I have not had that. No, I haven't.
And you know, Lipton tea is simply black tea. That's all it is,
black
really.
Tea, yeah.
And it's what they refer to back then is whole black tea. And so it wasn't like a lot of the debris of these tea bags today. So, but when you look at black tea versus green tea or even white tea or herbal tea, Lipton black tea is one of those teas that's been around for centuries. But when we want to look at it in terms of nutrient value, what is better for you, black tea is lower on the scale. And so when people talk about the Lipton tea, they're really referring to black tea.
Lady J, be careful of that berry iced tea, Lady J.
What is the berry iced tea?
I'm assuming it's like the peach iced tea that the Lipton brand has. It's in the food store.
There's a couple of them. They're flavored. Now there's a difference. You can have a flavored berry iced tea, or you can have a herbal tea that mimics a berry flavor, or infused with real berries. There's two different things. If you're talking about that flavored stuff, stay away from that, Lady J. If we're talking about herbs that is infused, then that's a better choice.
Yeah, so today we are talking about your sweeteners, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then, of course, not just to say stay away, because some people, of course, want that sweetener. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we will look at, if there's any more that we want to talk about with the bad things, but we will also look at the many good sweeteners that you can have. Yes. You don't have to give up having a sweet coffee or tea or something. You don't.
There is hope. There's equal hope.
There's hope.
Yeah, equal hope.
There's hope. And so stay exactly where you are. The conversation comes back right after this break.
Are you drowning in a sea of credit card?
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
I lived in fear for my life. I lived in fear for my children. I lived in fear of how I'd provide for them. I thought that he would change when he promised he would. And I forgave him every time he said that he was sorry. I became devalued as a human being until one day I ceased to exist as one.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
Bring the thing?
What thing?
Protection.
Come on, man. You really want to ruin the moment with that?
I actually think it will help the moment. No worries. Now we can continue. Next time, step your game up.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartend, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I'm on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up before it's over, girl.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check? Miss, I just stand now. I still gotta pay?
Welcome back to the conversation, guys. We have some, Karen says, I feel that we just need to consume more water, just plain water, because just about everything we eat or drink nowadays has so many synthetic additives. And she's right. I was trying to get to on the social media feed. Yes, okay, here it is. I personally feel this is why we have so many diseases, because of what's being produced in our food and drink. And that's why, you know what, I'll tell you, Karen, you're right. Eat from the earth.
Yeah.
Eat from the earth. Why not?
And the thing about it is, if we think about when Grammy and Mummy them used to make that old-fashioned limeade or lemonade, as tasty as that was, if you could, even getting back into that, using less sugar as Grammy used to use, right? We're going to use some other sweeteners, but that's a healthy alternative. So all is not lost. We're going to talk soon, as Shanique mentioned. We're going to talk soon about some of the other things that we have available. But we wanted to highlight, just for a few minutes, some of the things that are happening. When we look at the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Dwayne Sands, our Minister of Health, was just elected the presiding officer for the Directing Council. So the Bahamas is doing big things. Even in the health arena, yes, we have our issues, but we should be proud that the Minister of Health is the
So what are they acknowledging? What's happening here in this country?
So it's actually happening in Washington at one of the
acknowledging
highest.
The work that's going on here?
Yes, and they're
Awesome.
basically presiding over all of the countries. They're talking different topics, including NCDs, tuberculosis, things of that nature. And another big feat we had was with Dr. Marceline Del Regis, who received the highest award, the PAHO Award, Public Hero Award, for her work with eliminating rubella in the region. So we have Bahamians who are doing extraordinary things, representing the Bahamas unlike ever before, and we should take the opportunity to learn from them. Let's not make our country shame. Let's continue to move forward. And tomorrow is a town hall meeting at the All Saints Church, All Saints Anglican Church in East Street South, for the Community Health Councils. So one of the goals for the Ministry of Health is to establish community health councils in each district to work along with the clinics, and of course to encourage healthy initiatives in our country. We know all isn't lost. So let's continue to push forward. The healthiest little nation. That's something you always hear on the show. The healthiest little nation.
Love it.
So we got to reduce our sugars.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Karen says we've been so accustomed to eating and drinking whatever we want that we've also become desensitized to the actual harm that's in what we put in our mouths. There's so much poison out there that it's even in our colognes and deodorants. Truth be told, we're in a dilemma. Thank you, ladies, for bringing awareness.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, awareness is key, Shanique. If we really take the approach and become more proactive, one of the things when the new regulation started, where the FDA required manufacturers to put this information on the label, that was to our betterment, Shanique. And now that the information is there, it really just takes for us to read it. Now we know there's a lot of trickery out there. We know a lot of big words that we don't quite understand. But just like Tanya said earlier, listen, if you can't pronounce that too, them put those words together. Listen, 9 out of 10 times, it's really not good for you. It has a synthetic that has a side effect, and we really have to be conscious of it. And we also don't want to take the approach to think that, okay, everything that we touch is going to be bad. And that's not what we're saying. We're saying just become more proactive, look and read these labels, because unfortunately, there are a lot of unscrupulous manufacturers that put this poison in your the things that you're eating and drinking, and it's up to you as the consumer, the individual, because we are becoming proactive here in the Bahamas. We're trying to get those numbers down. And so you have to take a conscious and a proactive look at what's in this stuff that you're giving yourself as well as your children, because you parents are accountable to making sure that your children are not consuming. Man, listen here, when I saw this stack up on the gas station slushie, 13.6 teaspoons of sugar, Shanique. And that's in the small...
What's that, that's a 20 ounce?
Well, 20 ounces. And 20 ounces is a small one, right?
Actually, no. There has to be something smaller than that. Maybe
it's like a 9 ounce, if I remember.
Okay, all right.
Not saying that I drink it, just put it out there.
Well, the gas station slushie, Tanya just qualified. She doesn't drink that. 13.6 teaspoons of sugar, Shanique.
And the thing is, it builds and it adds up.
It adds up.
So you figure, oh, I just had that to drink today.
Yes.
But then you go home and you have this, and you have the next thing, and before you know it,
sweet cookies.
Yeah.
Yes. And everything, and then the sugar consumption is just way off the chart. You're feeling crappy, you're getting fat, the body is storing fat, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, you know, and you could very easily add in a whole bunch of empty calories and still be malnutrition and very hungry at the end of the day and still consume more food on top of all of the empty sugar calories that you just eat. So we have to really be aware of what's particularly, Shanique, in our drinks, because we don't often look at those drinks as a part of adding calories to our overall weight loss journey. We just think we could have some iced tea and some lemonade in the can, and that doesn't contribute to. Tanya, didn't you say one of the iced tea flavored something that you saw?
There was an iced tea in one of the coolers, and it had 36 grams of sugar. I look at the iced tea because I said, I don't want any soda.
And that's the monster size she's talking about. But still.
No, and it was smaller than the container that you have here, and it had 36 grams of sugar. And the bottle was so pretty, it looked like it's some unhealthy alternative. And you turn it around. I was so disappointed. I was thirsty and so disappointed.
Get yourself some water.
Of course.
Yes, Karen says just use wisdom in choosing what we're feeding ourselves and our kids.
Yeah,
which is very, very true.
And wisdom is a part of reading. Turn those labels around.
Exactly.
And read that.
Read. And like you always say, you have to be intentional. I remember my dad would always say, you can't have Diet Coke and eat a pan of macaroni. That don't balance.
Yeah, but people do that.
Exactly.
That is such a nice balance.
Yeah, I'm balancing. You know, I'm just gonna have a Diet Coke. Why not have no Coke at all?
Yeah, and some extra.
Right.
Shay, what about some natural sweetness and sugar alternatives that people have been asking about? Like, okay, then, so what do I sweeten this tea with?
Yes, Shanique. Now, there are a whole bunch out there, but we're going to try to put them in categories as fast as we can, just to give you an idea, because, you know, people talk about the aftertaste. Now, I can tell you this. When you're transitioning from a sugar, give your body an opportunity to, and maybe even 7 days, to not be on sugar before you start to try one of the alternatives, or you can do what I call a half and half. Use some of your traditional sweetener and then start to add in some of the better choices, and then wean yourself into the taste. So you won't just taste it and say, oh my God, Shay head ain't good. I'm not trying the sugar anymore. This is crap. Right, Elizabeth? Right. So, Shanique, let me tell you now, if we're talking about alternatives to the sugar synthetics that are low calorie, we have things like xylitol, Shanique. Yes. Xylitol is one of those. Erythritol is one of those.
What are these? I expect this amount. I expect to hear raw honey. What are you talking
because
about?
First, let me tell you, the reason why I'm talking about these types of sugar, because these are sugar alcohols, which are derived from a plant source. But when we're talking about the people who have been so accustomed to using the other ones, we talk about the aspartame, the sweetened low, the saccharin. These sugar alcohols are alternative to those without the damaging side effect what we talked about that these sugars, synthetic forms of sweeteners are linked to. So these are a better alternative in terms of that. The one thing I like about a plant-based alcohol sugar is this, Shani. When you look at the fiber that's in a fruit, and this is why your doctor or your dietitian will tell you eat the whole fruit because the fiber is attached. When you look at sugar alcohols, there is a part of the sugar alcohol that's called bring it back, pectin. The pectin, and which is the soluble fiber, and the cellulose, which is the insoluble fiber. This combination of it in the alcohol sugar makes it not only sweet like a sugar alternative, but it actually is good for you in terms of it allows the body to do what it does because it has the component of the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. Like it's the fiber and the sugar from the fruit without the actual fruit itself.
Karen, listen, I with you 100%. Shay, first of all, what is this? Is this a powder? Is it a liquid?
Actually, it could be in both. It can be in a liquid because stevia, boy, listen here, Karen, I can deal with you and Shanique after the show. But anywho, it can actually come in a couple of forms. It can come in a liquid form, granules, and you can actually take the granules and blend it to powder it. So today you'll see it really on all forms on the counter. And believe believe you me, once you go and you look, it's there. It's been there for years. It's just that people have been so accustomed to go into a lot of the synthetics. Now, when we talk about aftertaste, I can tell you, particularly the xylitol and the erythritol does not have an aftertaste. And I don't just take my word for it. Tanya, what do you think about the xylitol? Do you think it has an aftertaste?
I don't think so.
No, see, it doesn't have an aftertaste.
But maybe give an example of some of the products that have these things in it.
So when we look at xylitol, you'll find them in things like sugar-free chewing gum as opposed to saccharin. So a lot of the manufacturers are removing the saccharin or the NutraSweet and they're replacing it with xylitol. So you might even see sugarless gum, or they'll call it xylitol sugarless gum. Remember, hard candies, even pharmaceutical mouthwash, oral stuff that, because sugar is linked to tooth decay. Yeah. And so now they're removing the saccharin and they're using things like xylitol, sorbitol, erythritol to replace the synthetic forms of sugar. You'll find it in things like lozenges, toothpaste, all of those foods that have special dietary needs in terms of low calorie or
Wait
low
a minute,
sugar.
but normally the things you just talked about that we use every day, sugars and those things?
What happens is they're now replacing, Shanique, those sugar-free foods that had things like saccharin and NutraSweet in it, because they know now that the consumers are aware that there are side effects, dangerous side effects linked to a lot of these synthetic sweeteners. So in these particular foods that are traditionally on the shelves now, they're replacing the old things like the saccharin to now some of the newer sweeteners. But in addition to that, you can find these sweeteners in bulk right on the shelf next to the white sugar that you can use at home. And that's a good thing, Shanique, as a sweetener alternative with no calories. Yes. So that's just one section.
I'm with you too, Karen. I do the same thing. Yes. Okay, so the xylitol is one.
Yes,
And what is the other one?
The erythritol. Sorbitol, mannitol. So all the thols, because there's sugar alcohol.
Yes.
Yes.
And what is sugar alcohol? What's that?
That's, you know how you have sucrose?
Yes.
It's sugar from sugar alcohol is when you talk about the actual fruit, when you ferment fruit, it turns into an alcohol, the fermentation part of it. But what makes the sweetener a bulk sweetener, they keep in the pectin and the cellulose, which gives you the soluble and the insoluble fiber. So it's sugar that will actually work for you and not against you.
Okay, good. Okay, so what other alternative do we? Good
sugar. So I have what I refer to as my liquid sugars, and these particular sugars are definitely lower on the glycemic index as opposed to corn syrup. So one of my most favorite all-time nectars is coconut nectar, or you can coconut sugar. You can find it in granules, which we would know it as sugar, or the nectar, coconut nectar. And everybody know coconut, man. It's been around for centuries, so some people refer to it as palm sugar. It's one of the same, palm sugar or palm nectar.
So if you want to scoop that thing like how you scoop the white sugar or whatever, then you buy that coconut sugar.
Coconut sugar, that is a much better alternative. There's also something I refer to as date sugar or date nectar. It's equally as same when you look at the glycemic index. Like coconut sugar, you don't have that aftertaste, and it's a much better alternative to white sugar. So you have coconut sugar, you have date sugar or date nectar, and there's another one that I like. And I've just seen this recently in the grocery store. They have a combination of raw honey, part raw honey and part stevia. So for some people who don't like the stevia aftertaste, the honey offsets it, but the stevia gives it lower calories. So it's a perfect combination of the taste and lower calories.
So is honey a high-calorie sweetener?
If you're going to use honey, it's so important to use honey in its raw state. Yes. Once you go into things like agave and honey, you change and you alter what it does to the body by adding heat to it. And this is something that you should be, if you're going to use honey or agave for that matter, make sure it's raw.
Now, how about the different grades of honey on the shelf? There is something called raw organic honey. Then there's just regular honey that look like it's been processed a million times.
Now, when it comes to the word organic, honey is one of those things that doesn't necessarily have to be organic. If it's organic, that's wonderful. However, honey naturally occurring has a what you refer to as a non-transparent color. If you see honey that is lighter in color, one or two things. It's either refined, processed, cooked, or some manufacturers, unfortunately, are adding in some corn syrup or the high fructose corn syrup with the honey. So you have to be very careful because there's a lot of honey out there today that I've gone into the grocery store and I tasted, and you know that there is corn syrup added to it. So the honey is supposed to be darker in color, and if it's lighter, it's not going to be transparent. So if you can see through the jar, go to the next jar of honey. You want to make sure it's dense in color.
Miss Mel, thank you very much for holding. Welcome to the conversation on a Wealthy Wellness Wednesday. Okay, 325-5403, 325-5404, 325-5405, or 1242-300-8255. You call, I will come to the phone lines quicker. Karen says, yes, but coconut sugar, how do you know that they're actually using coconuts or they're manufacturing this and mixing it with other synthetic additives?
Okay, that's a very good question. One thing I can tell you is this. When, just like any food, if you're accustomed to eating a certain food, when you taste it out of the bag, you know, okay, this is what it is. Now, when you're transitioning and changing over, there might be a time in there where you say, oh, I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. I tell people, I mean, go to people out there. There are a lot of persons like myself in the community that'll be able to tell you if this is really sugar. Now, I can tell you there's one trick to coconut sugar. When sugar is naturally occurring with the color is, if you put it in a blender and you grind it up, it will go to white. If it stays a dark color, then you know it's not real sugar. That's one of those sugar tips. Because the caramel color on sugar, yeah, the thing is, this is because sometimes when people go to the extent and think that, how do you know it's really sugar? The fact of the matter is, you have to, one, trust what they say, and also, two, check it out for yourself. But for the most part, because there's not a necessarily, what do you say, the demand more for the sugar that is available now, I think we still have real sugar that's available in most of the manufacturers today. Now, honey, on the other hand, is another story, because there was a time when honey was always honey. Today, honey is mixed with so much other things.
And what if you buy it locally, though, that honey that's local?
You know what, Shanique, I've had a good fortune that almost all of the local honey that I've gotten taste is the real honey.
Geez, they mixing that up too?
No, the real, I mean, I doubt it, Shanique. Okay. I doubt we doing that. I really would hate to think that, because, honey, I will come on your door and knock and say, listen, what you give me ain't the real thing. But no, that Andrew honey is the truth. That's the truth.
Hello, Joyce. Thank you very much for holding. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah.
Hi, Joyce.
I don't drink coffee.
Only water.
Listening to you all, and I'm writing down.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, because I am nice and slender, and I want to, you know, remain like
want to remain nice and slender.
Right. So all I'm doing, all I just do is just watch you.
Yes, Joyce.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? What are some of the things you do?
Well, they had to stop me from working because, you know, I'm a hard worker. But I'm trying now. I plant some trees today, and I have some more to plant. But if you pass by here, you can get a hand of bananas. Don't talk it hard, though. Okay?
Yeah, so you grow your own fruits and vegetables?
All the time.
That is awesome. And it's I bet it's also relaxing and rewarding. I bet it's very relaxing for you, Joyce.
Yes, girl.
Yes.
Yes. Right now, I'm trying to sell a bunch of bananas, but if you come, I will cut a hand for you, girl.
Oh, wow. This is Joyce in Fox Hill.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, Fox Hill has fertile land, yes? That they do a whole lot of everything.
Oh, yes. And I have some nice flower plants you can get, but you have to get them yourself. It's right in the front in the yard.
Okay, Joyce. Well, listen, I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, and bring something to put them in.
Ah, cool. Look at Tanya. Don't make no order on Joyce food, please. Thanks. Yes, Joyce.
Tell them they can't get between me and you.
No, of course not. Where are you located, Joyce?
Listen, and I'm looking at my beautiful breadfruit tree. Girl, look here. When some more come on the tree, you know you got to get one.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
So when I call, okay, you know the girls in the school?
Yes.
Okay, you'll come up Prince Charles by Blanco Chemical, and you make a right turn, like you go into the prison.
Uh-huh.
When you get down, the first corner on your right, And
yes.
That's Sunderland's Village Road. And when you come through there, you turn through there, the first corner on your right again, and that's me.
Joyce, let me tell you, we're going to get your number. By the way, I will. Anybody listening? Joyce, Joyce.
Listen, this for you.
Yeah, no, I know it's for me. I'm just saying, people going to be trying to hit you up.
I coming for some of that bread.
See, Shay already said she coming for breadfruit.
No, ain't no breadfruit on the tree yet, girl.
No, but when it comes, when it bears, yes. Yes,
don't listen to my address then.
Yeah, we already got all that. So Joyce, hold the line so that we could get your number. Hold the line.
Thanks, Joyce.
Hi, Iris. Thank you very much for holding. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi, Shanique. I just love your show. I try to listen almost every day.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you.
Yes, I'm wanting to know about a healthy drink that don't have a lot of sugar in it, that I can keep in my fridge and offer to people that come to my house, or just me and my husband have it as an everyday drink.
Okay, great. Shay, I think we each will give you a suggestion, okay?
Okay, I'm going to hang up and listen.
Thank you, Iris. Okay.
I make an awesome ginger lemonade, and I simply use lemon. I use raw honey, ginger, and alkaline water. I keep it in the refrigerator all the time.
I hope you got that, Iris. So that is a ginger lemonade. Do you grate the ginger, or you just cut it up in chunks and let it steep in there?
I do it two ways. I do grate the ginger when I'm turning it into ice cubes so I can add them to my water. If I'm just making the lemonade, I will let it steep as a tea first and then add that ginger tea and make my lemonade. But I use the lemon versus lime. It holds up better in the refrigerator and it's not as tart. And it's very, very refreshing. You can drink it all through the summer and again through the winter. And the ginger has some inflammatory benefits.
Yeah, ginger is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that ginger is great.
Yes.
I had some pieces of ginger yesterday.
You made something with the ginger?
Yes, I did. Just the raw ginger sliced. I ate.
And the old-fashioned, well, not old-fashioned, but fruit-infused water. No matter what you do to it, fruit-infused water is always healthy. Whether you go with you can also do some plants as well, whether you decide to do some rosemary in water, mint in water, you can do cucumbers in water, strawberries in water, or you can also do the bush tea. Make your bush tea, whatever you want. Don't add sugar. Use one of the alternatives that we talked about, whether the raw honey or stevia or however you want to use it. Chill it. Put some in it. Put it in. You can even put it in the ice trays. It'll be a nice cool pop for you and your kids if you have kids. So that's another way to get them involved as well.
Absolutely. And so here's my thing. I'm always a proponent, first of all, water, goes without saying, but coconut water. Coconut water, whether it's fresh, from the coconut itself or the good ones, not anything in a can. The ones in the cartons. Those are no sugar added. Those are healthy. Those are good. And so coconut water. So let me just try be extra like these. Go
ahead, be extra.
I know, right? So then how about maybe just some green tea refrigerated, nice and cool. You can add maybe one of those sweeteners that Shay mentioned to it, or just that with a nice flavoring of mint, maybe some slices of lime, and nice and refreshing.
Extra.
Yeah, no.
You know what's nice too in coconut water, Shanique?
Yeah.
Fever grass. Good old fashioned fever grass. We have when you make the fever grass tea, you put half coconut water and half fever grass. Love it.
Go right ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Margaret. Yes. Hi, Gary from New York City. Thank you so much for tuning in today and for calling in all the way from the Big Apple.
Yeah, hi. How you doing? I'm Bahamian.
Yes.
But I lived in New York basically my whole life.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I'm calling him in response to the lady. She was saying that about the sweetness. Now, my mom died here in New Jersey of Alzheimer's, right? Complication of Alzheimer's. And they said that the sweetness was the cost of her getting the Alzheimer's, the dementia.
Gary,
I want to ask her. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Gary, do you? I hate to call out stuff or whatever, but any idea which one she used?
She was using that stevia.
The stevia.
And for years, yes, for years she was using that. What's that pink one? Sweet and Low.
Sweet, yes.
Sweet and Low, and that's like a big contribute. That really contribute to her getting the Alzheimer's. So what I want to ask that lady who said that is like, maybe you should get away from the sweetness. What they said you should do is use like the brown sugar or the honey. So that's basically what it was. But definitely, they told us that we must definitely, both me and my sister, that we must definitely stay away from those sweetener stuff. So you got to really be careful with that there.
Gary, you're so right.
Studies have shown that those things are not good for you.
Yes. Yes, Gary, you're so right, and I'm happy to have you call and reinforce it from personal experience. Sorry for your loss, sorry for your loss, but it's so powerful that you shared that experience. So if people are doubting what we're saying or saying, oh yeah, okay, but I'll think about it, they heard you call in today all the way from New York City to share why is it that they need to give up on those artificial and alternative sweeteners.
Yes.
Now, because that kill you, real talk. That really kill you. And we lost a great Bahamian with losing my mom. That taught me everything that I know. So, like, real talk, to tell you, like, those sweetness, you got to really stay away from those things there.
Yes, sir.
So it was good talking to you, and keep up the good work, all right? And I always listen to your show.
Oh, I thank you so much, Gary, and thanks for tuning in all the way over there. I totally appreciate it. Go on the live feed sometime and say hello so I could give you a nice big hello as well.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
Shout out to the 242 and the 718. Y'all be cool.
Hey, shout out to the Big Apple. I don't know what the area code is. I guess it's 718. But listen, stay exactly where you are. We're going to take a final break and come back with, I think, another call that's holding and some final thoughts. Stay exactly where you are.
If you like.
Welcome to the best of sports world.
Weekdays, 7 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
Together, they engage in a range of activities which may seem simple, but have the potential to give Sophonia the head start she needs.
In terms of this program, yes, it's going on in some islands across the Caribbean, but on the wider level, clearly, how important is that whole issue of the early childhood development?
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Real change starts now. With the upcoming Public Procurement Act, all government contracts will soon move online. After the act passes, only registered suppliers will be able to bid on available opportunities. Don't get left out. Register your business on the e-procurement and supplier registry system. The process takes just 2 minutes. Register today at www.suppliers.gov.bs or call the help desk at 604-1049 for assistance.
Welcome back to the conversation. Hello, Deanne. Thank you for holding. Welcome to the show. Hi, Deanne. Are you there? Okay, I think she may have gone, but we only have like a few minutes anyways. So Shay, another alternative, and it was really powerful of Gary calling from New York to share his personal story, and to drive home the point of, listen, no, seriously, stay away from these artificial sweeteners.
The one that Gary was talking about is what we refer to as sweet and low, but it's actually saccharin, which is 700 times sweeter than sugar. That's the sweet and low, nectar sweet. They have all of these disguised names, but it's actually saccharin, which is really poison again. And so, Gary, thanks so much for calling in and giving us that information. Really appreciate that on a really high level. Another one of those sweetness is too, Shanique. I think, I don't know if Akala mentioned it, but stevia is one of those alternatives.
So stevia
as well.
is good.
Yes, stevia, as well as even monk fruit. It's the actual medicinal name is called lo hong, but it's monk fruit.
Can you tell us where we can find it, please?
Lucuma and lucuma as well. See, also too, some of these sweetness I'm talking about, you will see them on the shelves as an alternative. So if you're looking for that, let's say cake that has sugar-free, look for the one, instead of having Splendor in it, you look for the one that has monk fruit in it or stevia. That's a better alternative in terms of having something that is sugar-free. That's what we're talking about when we look at the sugar alternative.
And the good thing about it is that stevia is derived from a plant.
Yes.
So that's one of the benefits of it for persons who are diabetic. But we want to encourage you, Bahamas, take what we're saying and run with it. Let's not let these words pass us any longer. We also want to encourage you to participate in the Community Health Council tomorrow at the All Things Anglican Church. And also, if you know someone who needs to stop smoking, there's a free session that's being offered in October. It's called the Breathe Free Session. Let's save our nation, one person at a time.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, ladies, very much, Shay King and Tanya McFall, and thank all of you for participating today. Karen, Lady J, and the others up there. I can't see your names. I apologize. Gary for calling in from New York, and all the other callers as well who called in locally. Thank you so much. Today's show brought to you by Ministry of Finance, Almighty Computers, Miden's Wholesale, Money Managers, S&M Uniforms, Evangelistic Temple Health Initiative, that's October 10th, and GM Appliances. Stay exactly where you are, guys. The news at 6 is straight ahead.
Step by step, living your best life yet, getting stronger and living longer. Let's figure out the questions for you.
You got to make the best of what you have in front of you. And that's some of our problems. We don't know how to make the best of what we've got. You keep on looking out